I'm Tony, and this is Earth Files Earth History. The resource for this material used in this video can be found in ResearchGate. It will be listed under Ocean Access beneath the southwest tributary of Pine Island Glacier, west in Antarctica. This will be the radar echogram that I'll be working with, and even though it's a thumbnail, this echogram is probably one of the best ones that I have ever posted. It has quite a bit of detail for being a thumbnail. The location is not exactly known where this echogram was taken, but it's going to be in this area. The depth of the ice is 4,200 feet. The structure itself is 2,400 feet tall. Okay guys, what I'm going to do is I want to start the processing of the image. I've got to crop it, and then once I get to a point where there's detail in the image, I'll start. So hang on just a minute. And we'll start with this one. The structure becomes very obvious in this image, and then you can see it through here, and it goes around, comes down, and across. And if you look down in here, down into this structure, you can see the different support beams that were used to build this structure with. And then you can see the 6 blocks, which I would imagine were made of stone, and then you can see the side of the blocks. And these are long blocks, very similar to these over here. And then if you look right here, you can see where the structure has deteriorated and some of the walls are still standing. And then you can see here where they use blocks also to build this structure, and here's some more blocks here, and you can tell they're shifted around from the deteriorating and just falling apart. This structure was built long before there was ice in Antarctica, and good thing there's ice because it helped preserve these structures. Now in this color, I did it because you can see the depth, or you can slightly see the depth of the images of these deteriorated structures here, and then again the side of the blocks become more apparent through here, and they become more apparent in this area, and then you can see where they continued to build these structures with. And then there's one kicked up in the back from where this structure has collapsed from the age. This is a smaller structure of a larger structure, but unfortunately I wasn't able to pull much of these images out just because of the nature of the echograms. And here it is where the image is inverted. You can really see the structure now, and then you can see the blocks over here, these long blocks in this area. You can see the blocks again here, and you can see some blocks sticking up going into this building, and you can see a couple on top of this structure in this area. Now I'm going to enhance this area right here, and here's the blocks, and then and this image is not good at all, but you definitely can tell there was a building back here, and this one looks to be round. And then you can see these blocks again that was used to build the structure, and then you can see the remaining part of the structure here. But these structures are still standing, and I'm sure there is a lot of artifacts that could be found in them. And then there's another view of it, and then you can see how these blocks have deteriorated. That's the reason it's zigzag looking in this area. And then now in this image you can see that it has like an archway through here. Now I'm going to take this image and clean it up. And now you can see the blocks even better in this area. And then you can see these walls or whatever these structures are through here. And then you can see the continuation of the building in this area. And if you look right here, we just looked at this. It looks like a face. That was that structure we just looked at. This nation and its structures were built long before the Earth's landmass separated into continents. There will be massive cities under the ice all over Antarctica. This nation also was destroyed by water, or Earth's first major flood. And so what I did is I took one of the older videos that explains how it was destroyed, and I put it at the end of this video so you can see what the ancient writings say about it. And concerning the dinosaurs, according to the timeline, came after this nation. And the reason it came after this nation is because in the book of Enoch, it does say that these people perverted all species on this planet, and the dinosaurs are the result of this perversion. Okay, thanks for watching. This is Tony with Earth Files, Earth History, signing out. Genesis 1, and then right here is where we're going to start. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Within the Christian community, there's been a debate going on for decades, and it's called the gap theory. And what the gap theory is, it's between chapter 1, sentence 1 and 2. And the best way to explain it is, in this first sentence, it says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, which means everything was in a perfect state. And then in the second sentence, all of a sudden we see earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. One side of the camp says that this means that the earth was in a primordial state and the formation of our, of course, the formation of our planet. And then the other side says that there was a pre-Adamic society. So when I was researching in Hebrew, I noticed these key words like earth and form and void and darkness and deep. These words were never opened up, or what I mean by that, they were never interpreted. So I went in to the concordance, and here's some of the interpretation. Earth means at large, which means a small part of a larger piece of land. This one also means a partial piece of land. And then the word form means desolation and to lie waste. And then void means undistinguishable ruins. Then you have darkness, means misery, destruction, and death. Then you got deep, sudden rushing of water, and also can mean surging mass of water from the abyss. And this is actually how it should have been translated. So what the second sentence is saying, that there was a pre-Adamic civilization on this planet. So I know this is not perfect, but I interpret it as close as I could of possibly how it should have been interpreted. And this is what it says. The world lie waste and in desolation. The ruins are undistinguishable. There's destruction, misery, and death in that nation. And then there was a surging mass of water from the abyss. So now we know that the force that could pick up a megalithic pyramid that's 3 miles wide and push it over on a metal structure, we now know that it was caused by something that went on with water. Some type of mass of water came up from the ground. And that's all the information that we have on it in Genesis. If you think about it, this is really remarkable. We have the first modern civilization on Earth that, for the most part, is preserved under the ice in Antarctica. Now, there is certain places where you can still see these structures. This one was taken in I believe this was taken in the dry McMurdo Valley area. And that area hasn't had snow or rain in over 2 million years. And it's extremely cold and dry there. So this is perfect conditions to slow down the erosion and deterioration rate of some of these megalithic structures. The ancients, the cities and civilizations that came after this, they knew about this destruction. And in fact, Jeremiah, when he's talking to the nation of Israel because they were falling away from God, he talks about that civilization, letting them know that their civilization can be destroyed as easily as that one was. And so this is what he says. And I looked at the earth, and it was formless and empty. I looked to the heavens, they had no light. I looked at the mountains, and behold, they were quaking, and the hills were swaying. So there was plenty of warning before whatever happened, this destruction. And then he continues to say, I looked, and no man was left. So it appears that a lot of the people did leave when these warning signs occurred. And of course, all the birds of the sky had fled. And as you know, especially during earthquakes, animals before earthquakes, animals start disappearing. And then he talks right here and he says, and all its cities were torn down. So the destruction was massive. And then Peter says, he's talking to the believers, and you have to really go into the scripture, but he's giving them some encouragement, and he's talking to them. He says, and not spared the old world, which means the ancient world or the first world, but saved Noah and the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. Then he goes back and talks about that pre-Adamic civilization and explains that whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. So even back in the biblical days, everybody knew about this. So this information was pulled at some time in the past for whatever reason. And now it's actually coming to light.